So, guys, I mean this when I say this. Do not let UConn fans fool you. Do not let UConn fans fool you because they are. And by the way, I don't just mean UConn fans. I mean the. I'll call them almost the resistance. They're almost like the resistance to change. So they're the people that want they want women's basketball to stay the way it's always has been, the way it always has been, and not change at all. As in, you either go to UConn, you play for Mulkey, or you play for Don Staley. Otherwise, you suck. That's one of the rules. The other commandment is any player who plays a modern style of basketball sucks. Um, Points, assists, rebounds are the only stats that matter. Um, and I'm just trying to think of what else there is. Oh, a mid range shot at 45% is greater than a 3 point shot at 35%, even though it's worth less points. A mid range point is more important than a layup. And if players are in a relationship with each other, you must put them on the same team. Like they are the commandments of the old WNBA. The reality is that there is no player like Awa Fam. And we have now got people scanning through Awa Fam's games, and I don't believe they're watching the games. I don't believe they're watching games that matter with Awa Fam. And they are looking through and they're saying Awa Fam sucks. And they're like, oh, Awa Fam, look, if Awa Fam's averaging whatever, I think in Spanish League she's averaging like 11 points a game, Euro League she's averaging like 8. But she's also sharing minutes with Kayla Alexander, who is an WNBA level player. She is literally split. They don't play at the same time. Their coach rotates the two of them. Sometimes Awa starts, sometimes Kayla starts. Kayla Alexander is a WNBA level player. She's one of Canada's best players. So basically, what's happening is that these people are watching these games and are just combing through stats and like these stats aren't good enough. And ironically, she's putting up similar stats in EuroLeague to every single one of the top prospects that are better than her or that are ranked higher than her in these people's eyes. Did in their sophomore years of college against significantly worse competition. Like UConn plays about 3 good teams a year till the tournament. And let's not also forget, Awa Fam is 19. AZ Fudd will be 24 years old at the end of her rookie season. Like you are comparing a 19-year-old to a super senior. People are like, oh, like why would anyone draft for raw potential? Because which one of these has potential to be? Which one of these is guaranteed to be a starter? If you look at the top 5, the top 6, there's a clear top 6. In my opinion, get Lauren Betts out of the top 5 and it should be a clear top 5. But there's a clear top 6 and it's everyone knows it's going to go Lauren Betts. It's going to go it's going to be Lauren Betts, Awa, AZ, Miles, Flau'jae, and Latson. Who has the highest upside? Awa. Who is the second highest upside? Flau'jae. Who is the third highest upside? Fucking Olivia Miles. Who is the fourth highest upside there of them? Tanaya Latson. Fifth highest upside, as in ceiling, AZ. But with AZ Fudd, obviously, there is like, we all know AZ Fudd's going to shoot the shit out of the ball. So she has like, she's going to be good. Like we know AZ Fudd's going to be good. Whereas there is an inherent risk taking a Flau'jae, taking an Awa Fam, because they don't have one specific skill that you know for a fact is going to be done at a top tier level and is going to be important. And ironically, the best case scenario for Awa Fam is for her to play under Cheryl Reeve. She's the best passing big in the world right now. Maybe Sarah Strong is better. Maybe Sarah Strong. But like, if you even listen to a clip of Hunter Cruz talking about Awa Fam, I need to pull this up right now. Awa Fam describing how she scores. Like, I haven't seen the full Hunter Cruz interview. She's describing how she scores. Like, she is like, when people talk about IQ, I don't think I've ever seen a big with a higher IQ at 19 years old. And that includes men's or women's basketball. Like super duper high IQ. Let's just take a listen right here to Awa Fam.
This is part of my game. So always, when I'm in the low post, I love to do face, to do face, to fake, fake, decide, and after look the best advantage. So of course, I'm a like I don't know, can I say this, but I am always a player that I need to look the best advantage for me. You know, So I don't like to do only two dribbles and a hook, you know. I love to do two dribbles, but after I'm gonna be thinking like a spin move and fake, fake, and after the best advantage for me.
Like you said, it's the
She's literally there, like, I don't like just doing like normal moves. I want to see what's the best advantage for me. Sometimes I'll take a couple of dribbles, I'll shoot a hook, sometimes I'll spin, sometimes I'll fade. Basically, I'm just gonna, like, I need to see what the defense is giving me. I've got every move in my arsenal, which she does. There are definitely flaws to Awa Fam. And that's the thing where it's like, there are flaws. And if you know anything about Awa Fam, her flaws are realistically that she picks and chooses when she wants to play. And I think a lot of people talk about it as a motor problem. And I think it's something that we don't know if this is going to happen to the WNBA, because we saw her in Valencia against Fenerbahce, who had 3 WNBA level bigs, outplay Ileana Rupert and Monique Billings in that game, and it's 17 points. We saw her outplay them. We saw her be the best player on the floor in the Eurobasket semi-final against France, who were the favourites to win it all, and the team that nearly beat USA in the Olympics. We saw her at 18 years old be the best player on the floor in that game. But if you watch a random game of Awa Fam, she's coasting. She coasts. And I don't know. That could be a problem in the WNBA. Like, that is for me, that's the only red flag. Because a lot of people point to her low shot blocking numbers, but she's very good she gets in position when she wants to be on defense and gets up vertical. She just doesn't block the shot. So I don't mind, like, because I don't look at shot blocking numbers. Because if you look purely shot blocking, then Hassan Whiteside's a better defender than Marc Gasol. Whereas Marc Gasol wasn't really a shot blocker, but he just was kind of an anchor to a defense. I still think she projects to be a decent defender. The one concern is that when she doesn't feel like it, like, the problem is in their group in EuroLeague, they were either playing Fenerbahce, which is close, or else they were blitzing a team by 50. And in the games where they're blitzing teams by 50, she really didn't look like she wanted to be there. And that is definitely a flaw. And I would say that, for me, if that is our argument against Awa Fam, that is the only argument you can have against Awa Fam, number one. But still, there is no player like Awa Fam in the WNBA. She is, as far as feel for the game, as far as post footwork, as far as ability to get the ball in, out, as far as being a screen and roller, as in a screen and short roller, screen and roll hard to the basket, touch around the basket. The fact that she's shooting the three at a decent rate this year, she's hitting free throws. Like, there is no big in the WNBA right now, other than Malonga, young big, that has a ceiling as high as Awa Fam. Like, Aaliyah Boston, maybe. But the thing is there is an inherent risk, and it's not about drafting Awa Fam because she's international. There is always a risk with drafting a 19-year-old. There always is. And there's less of a risk drafting a super senior. Not only a super senior who was born in the same calendar year as Caitlin Clark, versus a player who was born in the same calendar year as Jazzy Davidson. Or sorry, as Aaliyah Chavez. I think Davidson might be younger. Like, you can draft somebody born in 2002 or 2006. Just like in the NBA. There are fourth-year guys. They're upperclassmen that are better than young players. That might be better the first game they play in the NBA, but you know they're not going to be as good. And we have to evaluate talent like that. Because let's be real. If you are passing up on a player like Awa Fam, and like, for the good of basketball, Awa Fam and Paige Bueckers versus Caitlin and Aaliyah is like a long-term rivalry that actually is going to be close. Like, I don't think people understand how close that rivalry is going to be, because Aaliyah, the way Aaliyah plays with a little bit more aggression, fits Caitlin Clark better. But Awa's more calculated. She's better with her back to the basket. Her footwork's better. She's more finesse. She's got more length. Her IQ at 19 is definitely higher than Aaliyah's was at 19. And long term, you're looking at that partnership being really good. And you're looking at that partnership being like one of the top top point guard center duos of all time. And AZ Fud's just fine. By the way, if Dallas, based on Kurt Miller, it's between one of them two. And for me, there's no real question about it. Like, I still stand by this. If you were to ask 13 WNBA or 15 WNBA GMs who the best player from the 2025 WNBA draft would be, I think more than half of them will say Dominique Malonga. Because if Dominique Malonga in year 5 is going to be the same age as Paige in year 1. Sometimes you've got to draft for potential. You've got to draft for potential and not just get the sure thing. Because AZ Fud is the sure thing. You know AZ Fud is going to be a 1.5 time plus or minus, especially with more and more teams, with only 24 All-Star spots. I genuinely don't know if AZ Fud makes more than 3 All-Star games in her career. Awa Fam could flame out. She's going to be way better than Awa Coulier. I don't understand that comparison. She's not even remotely similar. They're literally the opposite players. She's way better than Awa Coulier. But I have to say that even though she's way better than Awa Coulier, there's a chance that Awa Fam is a rotational big and is just a offensive hub big, but doesn't play defense and doesn't play defense as well as expected and isn't going to be this long-term piece. There is a chance. But there's also a chance that Awa Fam's an MVP. There's zero chance AZ Fud's an MVP. So don't let Twitter fool you. Awa Fam is the best player in this draft. And it's not particularly close. She is the number 1 overall pick. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Don't let Twitter fool you. Trust me on this. Yes, there is a chance. The odds of Awa Fam winning Rookie of the Year, not that high. The reality is that Rookie of the Year is probably going to be, if Tanaya Latson, or is probably going to be whichever rookie ends up on the Chicago Sky, because all the other teams are trying to win. Realistically, whatever rookie ends up on the Sky is probably going to be Rookie of the Year. Or maybe someone we're not talking about. But realistically, the draft lottery's done, and so many people that have never watched Awa Fam play are trying to talk about Awa Fam like they're experts and she doesn't try and this. And that is, like, if you're watching Awa Fam, you haven't seen a lot of things. The one knock on Awa Fam is that she picks and chooses when she wants to give 100% effort. And I won't defend that. I will not defend that. But when it matters, in the games that matter, Awa Fam shows up, she steps up, and the way she can pass the ball, the way she can see the floor, her IQ, even if she was 23 years old, you're taking Awa Fam in the top. You're taking Awa Fam above Lauren Betts. But she's 19. I don't see how. With everything we've learned from the NBA, with everything we've learned how much more important it is, especially if you're drafting high in the draft, in the NBA, to not draft an upperclassman, to draft for potential. How many of the top NBA players were these National Player of the Year level college players as upperclassmen? Jalen Brunson, Dame Lillard. And Dame Lillard went to Weaver State. Brunson? That it? How many of the top players, much more, have been raw potential players? And Awa Fam has been as good as Kayla Alexander, if not better, in the games that matter. She's been as good as Raquel Carrera. Raquel Carrera, they're probably going to lose in the expansion draft. So look, don't let Twitter fool you. Awa Fam is the best player in this draft. And it's not particularly close. And there's a reason why, even though ESPN and CBS Sports and all these like American-focused people that don't actually know, and by the way, all the like journalists, all the media sources that were sharing the Dominique Malonga dunk from when she was 15 years old as it was new footage right before the draft and never watched Malonga play, every single one of them is because of Malonga. Everyone's hyping up Awa, and they put Awa at least in the top 2. And at least put Awa Fam in the top 2. But every single person that has been a draft expert, like if you look at everyone that has looked into all these international players, that has looked into these college players, every single one of them has Awa first and then a gap. That is, this should be, if it wasn't for the fact that WNBA and WNBA fans are so far behind in every bit of analysis, it would be Awa Gap. It's not even close. Last year, I still thought it was Malonga over Paige, but Paige was good enough that there was, like, I'm not going to blame you. Like, nobody's going to blame the Rockets for taking Akeem over Jordan. But that's the thing. When you have a sure thing in Paige Bueckers who you know is going to be fucking brilliant, then you can. It's a risk to not take Paige Bueckers, and the risk was too great. Even though I still think Malonga's going to be a better player. There's no Paige Bueckers in this draft, but you have a player with borderline Malonga upside. If you don't take Awa Fam, I don't know. Like, fortune favors the bold in drafting, and I fully believe if you are taking a super senior who projects to be a solid starter. And by the way, before AZ Foot pulled out of the 2025 WNBA draft, she was being projected to go around the same spot as Isaiah James, who already plays for them in her position. Just a thought. But anyway, I'll see you guys.